Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. Today for Bitcoin we are going up, and that is on a favorable report that came out from the United States. Therefore the price is going up, but we are right away reaching resistance. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking at right now. Before we do, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment or share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. I really want to hit more than 100 subs, so let's see if we can get there as soon as possible. Now without further ado, let's start diving into the charts. Here is the news that came out just a few hours ago, where the payrolls rose 315,000 in the month of August. That was enough for the price to go higher. Also, what I updated you earlier on Twitter, and that's why I'm always asking you to follow me on Twitter, because this is where I'm posting side TA, shall we say, is that we have a rising wedge, a falling wedge, a rising wedge inside a ascending triangle, and this price action right now is exactly just the sideways price action. I know it looks quite a lot. It's a lot of lines, but just follow me here. Here on the left side, you see these two blue lines. That is our rising wedge. Then we break out. This is also a bearish pattern. We go all the way to the bottom of the wedge, and then we are slowly rising up again. Then we are slowly declining down. That is our falling wedge. Then we are breaking out, reaching the target, as you can see, the blue candle perfectly. And now we are kind of in that green rising wedge again. And the target will be approximately here at the bottom again. But at the same time, you see these red lines on the top, and that is actually then a triangle, or maybe a descending triangle. You could also say that the bottom here is flat, so that's still a little bit biased. But there you see that although it looks like we have sideways action for the price right here, and all of that, what I just draw out is exactly here, that you can still make very, very nice trades and therefore profits. Also, what I posted earlier today is that for the dollar index, what I'm always showing is that we have here a bull flag which is played out almost to the exact dollar, and now we are going lower. And I also said that the bull flag just played out perfectly. All right, let's head into BTC USD here on the hourly, and you know what? Let's for fun maybe just take the half an hour, then I can quickly draw all these patterns for you, so that you can see that it actually was very nice and tradable if you would have found them or trade them. So this is then one rising wedge. This is the first one, and then we're having a falling wedge right here. You should draw a little bit like this, maybe a bit of a fake out, or like this. No, let's do it like this. Then you have some bottoms. That's some bottom touches. That's a little bit better, or a little bit of a channel, you could say. And then now we're going high. I have to say, by the way, on this chart, it looks a little bit different because this is from Bitfinex. I'm usually using the one from Bybit. And right now, you could also say, well, we also kind of now in this channel right here, and then maybe we go lower. So that's interesting to see. And then, of course, on the macro, that's what I said. We have this kind of big triangle kind of pattern. The bottom is slightly higher just here, and the tops are just slightly lower like this, and then the breakout will still take probably a few days, but even just from tops to bottoms you could trade that 100%. I quickly want to dive into a trade that I took yesterday. This one actually was very, very beautiful. Here we have the bottom for BTC, as you can see, and as we were coming down to the bottom, I had a small short position that I closed out on this week right here, and I entered a long right after this because we were making a lower low on the price. And look at this, a higher low here on the momentum waves. That looked actually very pretty, and a little bit higher also on the money flow, so that looked nice. And we had the bottom of the range, and we also trading underneath the value area low, so reason for us to go higher. Now if you have missed that, then you had a second chance just a little bit later, because if you take here a Fibonacci retracement, let me see if I do this correctly. Yeah, and let me zoom in here, then you can see it, that we went down with this week exactly to the golden pocket, and then we just rose up all the way here to the top. And yeah, so far that was a very nice play. I exited somewhere here That was also kind of in the middle of the night for me, and I was afraid that we would roll over again because still we're in a bear market and everything's very bearish. So watch out with your long positions in this kind of market. Of course, on the macro, and that is also where we talked about yesterday, is that we, let me completely zoom out, that we are at this macro value area low right here, and therefore you should say, well, the principle says we are going higher, we are going to retest now the top. But I also said yesterday in the video, well, we have not really traded underneath this value area low. This was more like a big spike. This also big spike. This was a little bit of a trading range compared to the trading range here on the top, where we had to spend much more time here on the top before we really went back into the range. And that makes me a little bit concerned. We have not really had a big wick down, grabbing the liquidity underneath these lows, maybe grabbing liquidity underneath this low into this box and then going higher, or even worst case scenario, making all the way down a real new lower low and then going higher. So that really concerns me a little bit, that we have not really a beautiful bottom. This is a bit more of a more beautiful bottom, or maybe this one where you see just a lot of activity. That has not really happened, because so far the trading range is also pretty tight. As you can see, I think we already showed this yesterday, approximately 4%. There you go, 4%, and that's approximately also the same here, 4%. Yeah, that's interesting to see. Do not long here right now. We have some bearish divergences all over the place, but we're just not really breaking through. What I am actually looking out for, and wait, let me first show you the bearish divergence. That is actually from this to here. And then the price here makes a higher high, but we're not really breaking through. That tells me something that we might go higher. You could also say we always also have a bearish divergence right away here on this little bit of more local price action, where the price here goes higher and a momentum wave goes lower. And also on the lower time frames, we had that. Matter of fact, I think also here on the 30-minute. You're seeing here that the price is making a new high, and then a momentum wave is making a new low, not really seeing the following through. So therefore we can conclude that in this little price action that we're seeing right now unfolding, that the bulls are in control, because the bearish signs don't really play out. And to go into a long right now, that will be pretty stupid. Then you make the same kind of mistake that I make earlier this week, that I accidentally longed into the resistance, because everything above the value area high is seen as an overbought value, so not a fair value for the asset. But of course, ranges are ranges, and sometimes we'll leave them and then we make a new range, just like we had a trading range here for a week, and then we left the range and then went lower. Now we are creating here this range. But could it be a scenario that, since this is pretty strong, that we are now just going higher back to this old range? That could absolutely be the case. That would be quite the move up. The only thing that's then against us is the time span. It's now Friday. The weekend is usually less activity. Monday, the United States and Canada regular stock markets are closed. Crypto, of course, the show goes on 24/7, but you don't really have the backup of the S&P 500. So that could cause for a little bit less of a trading volume. I think that the futures market for Bitcoin will be open. And a matter of fact, the last time that the regular stock markets in the United States were closed was on 4th of July, also on a Monday. Then from top to bottom, and I just researched that, Bitcoin moved 7% on a day, all the way from top to bottom. So there could be still volatility, but just keep it in mind that the regular stock markets this Monday will be closed. In other words, let's say we would be creeping up this weekend to this new range. I am staying very cautious because then we have quite a big CME gap, and then I'm afraid it's going to be a touchdown and then a quick move down. But what I actually would be looking for right now, let's say we are staying kind of here in the range, is that we are taking the liquidity above these highs right here, creating a swing fill pattern, going higher, and then going lower to the bottom of the range. That actually would be a very, very nice trade, and that's also what I'm waiting for right now. I'm staring at the charts already for quite a while, but it's not really happening. Let's say we would turn over here. We're not getting that swing filled pattern. Then actually I'm looking for exactly the same, but then here at the bottom, a swing filled pattern to sweep the lows here and then going higher. But as said also earlier, like on a bit of a bigger time frame, and that also still needs to be confirmed, is that we are really going lower and then we are going higher. So that is for now the most important range. So let me quickly name the levels. So swing field pattern could be from approximately 20,600 to 20,800. That would also coincide with this bit of a cluster of trading. And here underneath we need to kind of swing field pattern then. So quick move down, then up to 19,500, and this bigger support and resistance box here is approximately from 19,000 to 18,600. And this new trading range kind of starts off with the rigs on the bottom, 21K. If we would reach it, 21, 400, 500, remember we also have the macro point of control there. So if we move there in the weekend, or we move there on a very bit of a slower pace, shall we say, and not really creating a nice top or a nice bottom formation, then this could be a move up just before we are going down. So just really be careful. The thing that it has going for it, I have to say, is that yes, we have done a little bit of a cluster trading range here, but this move down was very fast, as you can see. Let me take this out. There you can see that it was just a handful of candles. This was a Friday trade, and we went pretty fast down from top to bottom. Let me quickly check that. That was 9% on the day, so that is quite a lot, and we have not really back tested or recovered any of that. So if we are really leaving the current trading range where we are in right now, which you see here with the value area high, then I think that actually with a little bit of liquidity, this could be a quick bump up, and then of course we will find some resistance here, no doubt about that. All right, quickly head over to the S&P 500, because what am I seeing here? We have passed the 4,000 points. That's just only for today. It looks like the momentum wave wants to roll over a little bit to the top. Money flow, it just curved into the red. RSIs are split, so a little bit weak. But what I'm actually looking out for is this box that I drew here for you, the support and resistance box. You can see that we bounced off, but there was actually a nice consolidation phase here. If we would nuke south again, then I'm looking out for if we can stay in this box for a while and eventually leave it and go lower and hit that 3,500 mark where I talked about yesterday. That will be interesting to see. If not, then of course we still have this kind of diagonal support and resistance line that I drew that already came in play multiple times. So that is just above us at let's say 4,065, 4,070. Let's see if, let's say we pump up a little bit further, if we then get rejected, and then maybe going down and creating a newer low on this price range that we are making right now. Dollar index, then we had a new high again, just a little bit higher, and now we are coming back kind of to that trading range that we also talked about yesterday. Here we're looking at the dollar index on the hourly. Looks like it still has some more room to the downside. Same for the 4 hours. Look at this. You see the money flow going lower. Momentum waves also going lower. This actually looks a little bit like a distribution phase, where this maybe makes another high, which is a lower high than this high, and then maybe rolls over and really has a little bit of a longer or bigger consolidation phase. The white lines that you see here, that is the bull flag that I also posted on Twitter, and that actually played out almost to the dollar exactly. So also rolling over from here, making maybe now a lower high. Oh, sorry. Making a lower high, that would make 100% sense to me. So something like this would actually be nice, or maybe a little bit higher, then take out one more times all the long trades and then going lower. If that happens, of course, the S&P will go higher, Bitcoin will go higher. But if we're doing something like this, where we're going lower, we zigzag a little bit, and then we're going higher again, that is just a little bit of a move up for BTC. So then I may be looking out for here, this central range, macro point of control. And if we then kind of zigzag and then going up again, then it was the end, and then we are really going lower, and I think we're going to break that 17K if we are really reaching those 112, 120 for the dollar index. I already mentioned it multiple times before. That is kind of my macro target for the long run, because that is this range right here. Don't take me on dollar more or less, but it starts off from approximately 112, 120. That's where the tops. And you also actually see what we are seeing right now, kind of a distribution phase. You see here these tops really spiking higher and higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, and then just going lower. And these tops are quite close to each other, and they also not close to each other only in the factor of time, but also close to each other in the factor of price, so diagonal and horizontal. And we see that a little bit playing out here on the smaller time frames that we are seeing. Let me zoom in quickly to the 4-hourly. Is that it looks like this has been one high right here. Let me do this. This has been one high right here. This has been our little bit of a higher high, and then maybe coming down, making a lower high, boom, distribution phase, going lower, and then that was it for a while then. Alright guys, a lot of information. I hope you like these kinds of updates. I also, as always, update you in the meantime on Twitter and Instagram, so definitely feel free to follow me there. Links are in the descriptions. When you're down there anyways, please do me a favor, like and subscribe. I really want to go to 100 subscribers. And also feel free to leave me a comment. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. If you want to see something else, then also feel free to leave that in the comments. Thank you guys so much. See you next one. Bye-bye.